How to move forward after a divorce. I'm going to give you 7 gentle steps on how to rebuild your life. Hi, my name is Ruth, and I help women in their 30s and 40s plus rebuild and reinvent their lives. All right, so I have been on this long journey. I don't even know if you guys know that I was married at 19 years old. Okay, let's start there. If you're new here, hi, welcome. We got a lot to talk about. So, when I was 19 years old, I had already been in a 5 year relationship. I was 14, he was 18. He did not know I was 14 at the time, but still 15 is kind of young. Looking back, it's giving a little, you was messing with a young girl, right? And I I wanted the attention. It wasn't somebody I was like had a super big crush on. It just kind of fell in my lap. I knew I wanted a boyfriend. I was just gonna make it work, and that was it. I feel like my mom and my dad, they made it work. I'm gonna make it work, and that I tried to do for a long time. Over some time, I was at church, and God was telling me like, like the person that you're with right now, like you need to leave him alone. And that was said at 16 and then at 17. And I still didn't leave him alone. And, there were tears. Why are you leaving me? And all this stuff. I didn't do nothing wrong. I don't see what's going on. And I was like, well, he didn't do anything wrong, so I'll stay with him. Then I made a promise to God. I said, God, if you give me this, um, oh no, we got engaged. He said he was going to buy a ring. I said, don't even get me a ring. Something in me did not even want to go through with it at the time. Um, and how I felt at 14, of course, is not how I felt at 18. 18, I felt like, okay, I'm here, world, let me make some decisions. But I also started feeling like I was cornered. I was in a box because between him not wanting me to leave the state and my parents not wanting me to leave the state, and I want to leave, I want to go to dorm and all that other stuff. And I felt like my decisions were being made for me based off of people's emotions and not what I wanted to do. I still have to like deal with that sometimes because I wonder, like, I'm not a person that is like, oh, dorms is the answer. I'm actually happy I didn't go in a dorm, but still, that is still, I want to decide that, not other people. So when by the time I got engaged, you know, I was like, no. But then I was like, you deep down inside, you really want it. So I was crying. And it wasn't because I was happy. It was because, like, what are my mom and dad going to say? Like, what am I saying yes to? I felt like, yeah. And then he didn't get on his knee. So he squatted when he was proposing. And I thought that was weird. And I just kept whatever. And then I told my parents, and they act like it was okay, cool, fine, get married. Uh, I felt later on, I felt like it was like, oh, good, good, go get married. Get out of here, right? Because one day my dad was like, I don't believe in boyfriend, I believe in fiance. So a couple weeks later, I came back and said, well, I got a fiance, and they were just kind of like, oh, I thought you was getting married, and it was like it was turned into like a double dare. Like, yeah, I said I'm gonna get married. I can get married if I want to. So then my young self goes and gets married. My family pays for the wedding, and it didn't work out because it was not even like friendship. It was just he bought me a couple birthday gifts, and we spent time together, and it was like a physical thing, and it wasn't really us talking. We had some good times. We sung some songs, but it was very basic. It was very much watching a movie in the basement, little young kid stuff, right? But it's not like we're ready for marriage. We know each other. I did not know this man for like years and years and years. 12 years in the marriage. I was just like watching 12 Years a Slave, and I was like, yep, I was free. And then y'all turned me into a slave. Not to say that marriage is slavery. I don't believe that. But the situation was. And I think looking back on it, I think he was looking for a stepmother for his daughter, and that was it, right? And I gave him three daughters. So I was like, there you go. Take that, right? Um, and I felt like Leah in the Bible. If I have more kids, maybe he'll love me now. Maybe he'll love me now. And by the last third one, I was just trying to start. I was starting to rebuild my life. I had my own daycare. 25 years old. Even though he told me not to do it, I went and signed the lease anyway. I had never made that amount of money. $1,500 that I had to pay. I never made that actually working. So I was like, I did the math. I said, if I get three kids, there it is. And for the first time, I just created my own success, right? And it was going and going. I had some troubles, and but by the third year, it was good and it was bad. It was popping because the parents was loving it. They're like, I'm bringing all my kids here. I was letting them go on date nights and stuff like that. All of my kids is coming in September. I'm like, why not now, right? We didn't make it to September, and that's the bad part. Is like everything became due, everything became too much. I was just had a baby. I was still like suffering from like I had C-section. I went back to work. I'm in pain. It was just too much going on, and I was just like, I have no support. I said, because I don't have the right marriage, I have to stop what I'm doing because I need support, and I didn't have the support that I needed. And it's not like the person couldn't help me. They were just at the house, at the crib, chilling instead of helping me. And I was like, yeah. My parents had a good example of, they had a daycare as well. I helped them open it, and then my dad would go and get the kids and help my mom, but he wasn't doing it. So I was like, I don't know what y'all want me to do. He's not doing it. I can't make a grown person do what they need to do. I shut it down. From there, I went to Virginia, and then from there, because I was trying to get away, and I had already left twice, one for a week and one for a month. And then the last one for a year. I went to Virginia and I stayed there. I for some reason I was like, maybe I'll stay. So I grabbed the girls' birth certificates and I went down there. I didn't come back for like a year. Um, I visited, but I didn't really come back to live there. I needed to get away. I need to clear my head. While I was there, I found out they introduced me to the term narcissist. Narcissist. I never heard of that before, and I did not tell myself I had a narcissist. They told me that, how everything was textbook, but gaslighting, all that stuff. I was going through all that. I couldn't explain. I couldn't explain what I was going through. And when they started giving me the words, I felt empowered. I felt stupid because I let this happen, but it was very sneaky, sly, slick. Me not ever having a boyfriend before, a real one, um, and just being naive. And I was like, how did I get myself into this mess? And I couldn't get myself out. And I remember, like, oh my gosh, I just want to be I want to be single. I know I'm married, but I want to be single. I said, my dream is to have an apartment, to get, like, I just want an apartment. Like, and I guess I was living my dream because I definitely went to an apartment after that. But I wanted to get away. I didn't want the door to close and I'm walking on eggshells. I didn't want, I'm saying what I need and then you're ignoring it and you're doing whatever you want. I'm basically living with $4,000 for the entire year because that's the refund check that I got, and I have to just deal with it. I can't leave the house even though I have a car because I don't have any gas money. Like, it was just a lot going on. I don't know the paycheck. I don't see nothing. I don't know what's going on. Everything's being hidden from me. Everything's being kept from me. I'm being trapped in the house with kids because nobody will watch them so I can leave and get a breather. I just had enough. So the daycare was a place I can get away all day. That's what it was. It's me running again. Me getting married was me running from my childhood trauma, right? Oh, there's childhood trauma because growing up Haitian, there's childhood trauma. And it's not like, crazy, crazy, but it's enough to be like, well, dang, okay. Um, so yeah, I was always running. So I ran to Virginia. I was like, listen, I gotta take care of kids. Please do not call me. It was just like, hey, what you doing? Hang up. Hey, what you doing? Hang up. Like, it just kept bombardment of calls and stuff like that. I was just like, so then I came back. I needed to work because I was like, this is not working out because nobody can watch my child. I can't get a job. I can't live with other people. Like, they're not treating me well, I can't do it. I said, at least I can go back to where they have another parent because I've been raising them myself, not just giving them over to my parents. I was raising them. So I went back and it was all this drama, and then we ended up breaking up. I think I came back like for that September thing. In December, we had a fight. I found out he was really cheating on me and like had a whole nother relationship. And then um, I denied it. I took him back. And then February, I said it out loud like, "Yes, he's really cheating on me." Like, I told him another person because it was a lot of stuff going on. I was like, oh, he really is with somebody else.